Happy wife, happy life. That is the phrase I live by. That's the thing I wake up and when I'm eating my Cheerios, it's the greatest phrase there is. I was on the internet. Well, I was on YouTube. I spent a lot of time on YouTube. I spend more time on YouTube than I probably should. And I was watching my favorite comedian, my favorite South Asian Indian comedian, Akash Singh. The boy's got those melodies down pat. And I was watching a podcast clip of his wife saying how she wants to cheat or at least sleep with her coworker's husband, which, at this point, I don't think anything surprises me yet. Like I almost felt bad for Akash Singh. I almost felt bad, but I don't have a soul. So I watched this video and I'm not gonna lie. I mean, if I knew how to edit, I would play the clip and then react to it, but I don't know how to edit. I'm sorry about that. I watched this video and it was, it was just sad. I'm not gonna lie. If I got married, if I entered, if I were to interact with a woman for longer than 5 minutes, but if I were to ever get married and my wife publicly says, "Oh, I want to sleep with my coworker's husband," it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. Like at that point, you just close down the movie set and then you go home because at that point it's over. Because what are you doing, man? Because at least with marriage, you're supposed to play house. Like you're supposed to play the mom, supposed to play the dad, supposed to play husband, supposed to play the wife. You're supposed to play some roles. You completely throw those out the window when you're trying to, be a swinger. It was embarrassing. I was actually like, I got secondhand embarrassment. I almost wanted to file to HR. I don't have a job, but I was going to file to the HR department that I got secondhand embarrassment from Akash Singh's wife. I don't think Akash Singh really had much dating experience or much experience with women before marriage. As he's publicly stated, he's never really been intimate with anyone before. So, not that that's a judgment, Shout out to, man's on his way to monk mode, man's on his way to enlightenment, which, I might need some enlightenment too. I'm not going to lie. And I think that the when you don't have a lot of experience in something, you don't really know, typically you don't really know your worth. It's kind of like when you start working, like when you start working right out of high school, you might take a job that you probably shouldn't because you think, "Oh man, any money's better than no money." But then as you get more and more experience, typically you're able to negotiate, you get more skills, and then you know what you're doing. It's not a one-to-one correlation with dating, but similar principles tend to apply. Not that, because this is definitely a date, me who gets ghosted and rejected is definitely qualified to give dating advice. This is definitely dating advice. But no, I think Akash Singh's lack of experience just shows with the amount of disrespect he is putting up with. I mean, this is disrespectful. And I'm saying this, from a Ugandan brother to my Indian brother, because, he's somehow going to watch this, My 6 views are going to travel across the internet. But I say this from hermano to hermano a hermano, brother to brother, hombre o hombre, man to man. You've got some worth, man. You've got some. First of all, you're a comedian. Some people laugh at your jokes. I know that you make jokes. Do I laugh at them? That's neither here nor there. But you've got something going, your own thing going on independent. And this disrespect is just not, whatever. I don't know what happens. I don't know what happens when y'all go home and play house. But whatever game you're playing, my brother, there are better characters to play it with. Let me tell you that there are better characters. There's a better game to play, if I were to give any unsolicited advice, because it's actually just sad. Like, do I feel bad for him? Maybe. I don't know. Don't know the man. But it's sad just to see someone get disrespected publicly, no matter what your personal opinions are. It really is. It's just, I wouldn't wish public disrespect on anyone, I just wouldn't. And seeing that just kind of just makes me just wonder, man, like, I wish I could, like, jump in the internet, but no, like, that's not my responsibility. Some people are just unashamed. Like, some people are legitimate. If you disrespect, like, if you don't care about, like, your spouse, it could be a husband, it could be a wife. If you don't care about someone, You're just gonna openly disrespect them. I mean, open. Man, people. I try to actually not even swear on YouTube, and you have people out here openly saying, "Oh, I want to sleep with my coworker's husband." That's a mad ting, man. I even think twice about shaking people's hands, and people out here just saying, "Oh, what? Oh, like I mean, yo, do we have any shame? Is there any shame anymore? Is shame gone? Do people just say whatever they want? Some thoughts are meant to be kept for yourself. I was always taught, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say it at all. Same like you would think, and I was taught that when I was 5 years old. Shout out to 2005, Bush, Katrina, didn't care about black people. But no, like seriously, I was taught, if you have something mean to say, don't say it. Don't say mean things. Speak nice things about other people. If you got something messed up to say, keep it private or say it to them privately. Don't publicly on your podcast. I mean, can we? I think hopefully this ushers in the end of these podcasts because anybody with a microphone and now just thinks they can just speak their opinions, and this is what you get. You get people out here just openly saying the dumbest things. Anyways, that's all I've got to say. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked, please like and subscribe. My social will be linked down below and at the end of this video. Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon.